Carol Burnett truly hated him more than anyone. Carol Burnett was born Carol Creighton Burnett on April 26, 1933, in San Antonio, Texas. Raised in a challenging environment marked by financial hardship and her parents' struggles with alcoholism, Burnett was largely brought up by her grandmother in a modest Los Angeles apartment. Even in these difficult circumstances, she discovered the power of imagination and humor as a way to cope with life's struggles, often entertaining her peers and herself through playful performances and a flair for mimicry. Burnett's path to fame began in earnest when she attended the University of California, Los Angeles, UCLA, intending to study journalism. However, a love for the performing arts quickly redirected her ambitions. A pivotal moment came when an anonymous benefactor gave her a sum of money that allowed her to move to New York City to pursue a career in theater, on the condition that she one day repay the favor by helping another person in need. This act of generosity would later become symbolic of Burnett's own approach to life and her career, one grounded in kindness, gratitude, and paying it forward. In the 1950s, Burnett broke into television through appearances on variety and talk shows, most notably on The Gary Moore Show, where her gift for physical comedy, her expressive face, and her ability to switch effortlessly between outrageous humor and heartfelt sincerity made her a standout. Her breakout performance of the song "I Made a Fool of Myself Over John Foster Dulles" showcased not only her comedic timing, but also her originality and fearlessness in lampooning even the most unexpected subjects. Audiences connected with her genuineness and her ability to laugh at herself, qualities that would become her trademarks throughout her career. The crowning achievement of her professional life came with The Carol Burnett Show, which premiered on CBS in 1967. At a time when television variety shows were dominated by men, Burnett defied industry norms by becoming the first woman to host a long-running variety sketch program in prime time. The show, which ran for 11 seasons until 1978, was a dazzling blend of sharp satire, brilliant character work, musical performances, and memorable sketches, many of which remain iconic to this day. Whether she was appearing as the hilariously awkward secretary Mrs. Wiggins, the ever-disheveled Eunice in the Family sketches, or parodying classic films in elaborate spoofs like Went with the Wind, Burnett demonstrated an unparalleled range and fearlessness in her craft. Her chemistry with her ensemble cast, Harvey Korman, Vicki Lawrence, Tim Conway, and Lyle Waggoner, produced some of the most enduring moments in television history. Off-screen, Burnett's signature audience Q&A sessions at the beginning of each show became a hallmark of her warmth and accessibility. She would stroll onto the stage in her evening gown, field questions from audience members, and respond with honesty, humor, and a readiness to share personal anecdotes. Her openness created an intimate bond with viewers, making them feel as though they knew her personally. Throughout her career, Burnett earned numerous accolades, including multiple Emmy Awards, Golden Globes, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom. She was also honored with the Kennedy Center Honors in 2003 and the Mark Twain Prize for American Humor in 2013, cementing her legacy as not just a comedic genius but also a cultural trailblazer who opened doors for countless women in entertainment. Beyond her professional triumphs, Burnett has faced personal challenges with remarkable courage. She endured family tragedies, including the loss of her daughter Carrie Hamilton to cancer in 2002. In the years since, she has spoken openly about grief, resilience, and the healing power of humor, becoming a source of comfort and inspiration for others facing similar hardships. Her memoirs, such as One More Time and This Time Together, offer candid, heartfelt reflections on her life, her career, and the people who shaped her journey. Today, Carol Burnett's influence is visible in nearly every corner of comedy and entertainment. Her ability to blend physical slapstick with clever, character-driven humor has inspired generations of performers, from Tina Fey to Kristen Wiig, and her barrier-breaking role as a female host in a male-dominated field continues to resonate as a symbol of what is possible with talent, determination, and grace. Even into her later years, she continues to appear in television and film, delighting audiences with her presence and proving that her comedic spark has never dimmed. Carol Burnett's personal life, especially her marriages, played a significant role in shaping the woman behind the legendary comedy and television icon. Her first marriage was to her college sweetheart, Don Saroyan. The couple married on December 15, 1955, marking the beginning of a new chapter in Burnett's young adult life. At the time, Burnett was still building her career and navigating the early stages of adulthood. Their relationship, however, faced challenges that led to its eventual dissolution, and they divorced in 1962. This period was significant for Burnett, as it overlapped with her gradual rise to fame and her transition into the entertainment industry, laying a complex emotional foundation amid her growing professional demands. Shortly after her divorce from Saroyan, Burnett's life took a pivotal turn when she met Joe Hamilton. On May 4, 1963, she married Hamilton, a man whose influence on her career and personal life was profound. Joe Hamilton was a television producer with a rich background in the industry. He was also a divorced father of 8 children, adding complexity and depth to their blended family dynamic. He was the brother of actress Kip Hamilton, which added an additional layer of connection to the entertainment world. Their relationship began professionally, as Hamilton produced Burnett's highly acclaimed 1962 Carnegie Hall concert, which showcased her talents in a blend of comedy and music to a captivated audience. This collaboration soon blossomed into a life partnership. Hamilton was instrumental in producing many of Burnett's projects, most notably The Carol Burnett Show, which became one of the most beloved variety shows in television history. Their marriage was not just a personal union, but a creative partnership that helped elevate Burnett's career to new heights. Together, they navigated the pressures of show business while raising a family. The couple had 3 daughters, and balancing the demands of a bustling household with the rigors of television production was undoubtedly a challenge they faced together. Despite the seemingly perfect partnership, Burnett and Hamilton's marriage was not without difficulties. Their union ended in divorce in 1984 after more than 2 decades together. One of the hardest challenges they confronted was coping with their daughter Carrie's struggles with drug addiction. This painful family ordeal became a catalyst for Burnett and Hamilton to become advocates for parents facing similar issues. They openly discussed the challenges of dealing with addiction in the family, helping to destigmatize the subject during a time when such conversations were often kept private. They also took active steps to support recovery efforts by raising funds for the clinic where Carrie received treatment, demonstrating their commitment not only to their daughter, but to helping others in the community. In a significant moment of solidarity and healing, Burnett and Carrie traveled to Moscow in 1988 to assist in introducing the first Alcoholics Anonymous branch in the Soviet Union. This trip was emblematic of Burnett's dedication to helping break the silence around addiction worldwide and supporting recovery movements on a global scale. The gesture highlighted her willingness to use her public profile for meaningful causes beyond entertainment. Tragically, Joe Hamilton passed away in 1991 from cancer, closing a poignant chapter in Burnett's life. His death marked the end of a long and influential partnership, both personally and professionally. During the 1980s, amid these personal struggles, Burnett also lent her voice to public health causes, including a notable campaign for MedicAlert. She was symbolically recognized as the 1 millionth member of the organization, receiving the 1 millionth MedicAlert bracelet, an honor that underscored her role as a trusted and respected public figure who could promote important health awareness. Many years later, on November 24, 2001, Carol Burnett married again, this time to Brian Miller, a talented drummer who was notably 23 years her junior. This marriage reflected Burnett's resilience and openness to new beginnings even after the trials she had faced. Her relationship with Miller demonstrated her vibrant spirit and willingness to embrace love and companionship regardless of societal expectations about age or past experiences. Together, these relationships provide a rich tapestry that not only reveals the private side of Carol Burnett's life, but also highlights her strength, compassion, and ability to turn personal hardship into advocacy and public service. Her marriages were intertwined with her career milestones and personal growth, painting a portrait of a woman who has lived fully, loved deeply, and continually contributed to the world in many impactful ways. The complex relationship between Carol Burnett and Harvey Korman is often described in the public eye as a mix of deep affection, professional camaraderie, and creative brilliance. However, beneath the surface of their legendary comedy partnership on The Carol Burnett Show, there existed a less-known and more turbulent emotional undercurrent. In fact, by many accounts, Carol Burnett harbored feelings that went far beyond simple professional frustration. She truly hated Harvey Korman more than anyone else in her life. This intense dislike was not something born overnight or from a single incident, but rather developed and fermented over years of working closely together under the harsh pressures of television production. While audiences saw the seamless comedic timing and the sparkling chemistry that made their sketches unforgettable, behind the scenes, Burnett struggled to reconcile the man she worked with and the man she sometimes deeply resented. One major source of Burnett's resentment was Korman's difficult personality and unpredictable temper. Korman was known to be moody and temperamental, often reacting sharply to minor criticisms or stressful situations. For Burnett, who had been raised in a humble background with a strong work ethic, this erratic behavior was not only unprofessional, but deeply upsetting. She felt that Korman's moods could sabotage the creative environment they depended on, creating tension that sometimes poisoned the entire cast and crew. Moreover, Burnett was reportedly hurt by Korman's occasional arrogance and sense of entitlement. While both were supremely talented, Burnett often felt that Korman did not show enough respect for her contributions or the sacrifices she made to keep the show running smoothly. She saw him as someone who sometimes took credit too freely and showed little gratitude toward those who helped elevate his career. This perceived lack of respect stung Burnett deeply, especially given her own insecurities and struggles in the male-dominated entertainment world of the time. There were also personal clashes that exacerbated the tension. Burnett, known for her kindness and nurturing spirit, often felt frustrated by Korman's dismissiveness or lack of warmth in private. Their off-camera relationship never blossomed into genuine friendship, and Burnett sometimes felt isolated and emotionally unsupported. This personal disconnect added to her feelings of animosity because it contrasted so starkly with the joyful public image they projected. In interviews years later, Burnett was candid about the fact that her feelings toward Korman were complicated and painful. She admitted that while she admired his comedic genius and recognized his undeniable talent, there were times when she could not stand him. The frustration, anger, and disappointment she felt sometimes bordered on genuine hatred, especially during moments of conflict or when Korman's behavior disrupted the harmony of their working environment. This strong dislike was intensified by the fact that Burnett and Korman spent countless hours together during the show's long run, which meant that the bad moments could not be easily avoided or ignored. Unlike more casual colleagues, their partnership demanded intimacy and close collaboration, amplifying every irritation or grievance. For Burnett, the weight of these feelings was compounded by her desire to maintain professionalism, which forced her to suppress much of her frustration during filming and public appearances. In a way, Burnett's hatred for Korman was a reflection of the immense emotional investment she put into the show and the people she worked with. When creative collaborators fall out, especially after so many years of shared success, the emotional fallout can be intense. The disappointment of unmet expectations, combined with personal differences and professional pressures, sometimes created a toxic dynamic that led Burnett to harbor the strongest negative feelings she ever experienced toward anyone. Ultimately, this complicated relationship is a testament to the realities behind show business glamour. While audiences remember Burnett and Corman as a perfect comedic duo, the truth behind the scenes was far messier, filled with emotional contradictions, struggles for control, and the deep, sometimes bitter feelings that arise when two strong personalities clash. Carol Burnett's profound and honest admission that she truly hated Harvey Korman more than anyone underscores just how complex and human the relationships behind the laughter really were.